Okay, welcome everyone. This time I didn't forget to record our skills workshop. So we're going to start off going over push-ups, like every little detail of it, and then we're going to go into bench press with your dumbbells. And the great thing is both you two have a bench that we're going to be using. I'm just going to get started, and if Katie pops in, I can kind of do a review, but I want it to be where it's more interactive. So first of like for both of you, when you start off with a push-up, the hands are going to be right here, right outside your shoulders. Wider is not wrong. Narrower is not wrong. Wider gives you a wider base of support. Narrower makes it a little bit more challenging because then it becomes more tricep based. And in this like in between position, which is going to be the same position that you have when you're doing a bench press with your dumbbells or barbell, it's going to have that same position. And again, you can go wider or narrower with all of that. It just challenges different things, but this is the traditional standard position. And the reason why it's this position is because in this position, it is a lot easier to engage your lats. So your back muscles actually help you when you're doing a push-up or a dumbbell bench press. So let's have you both get that position. You guys, oh, my camera's frozen. Let me see.
Is it your Wi-Fi
Are
or
you guys still hearing? Oh, it might be mine because my boyfriend's playing, he's gaming right now.
Oh, you
I don't
need
know
to
if
change your
that's
Wi-Fi to prioritize your Zoom over his gaming.
Yeah. Wait, Todd, are you able to not play for a few minutes? Because I think I'm losing some of my Wi-Fi. How do you know it's not you? Okay.
Says every man gaming ever. It's not me.
So for both of you, let's get in this hand position. I want to first see this hand position. Perfect. Yep. Excellent. And so you know how in this position, I can see you both. I don't know if you can see each other. You see how there's this little bit of space, so it's not, a lot of times when people get into push-ups, they get into this position. I think temporarily this is a little easier to push up. This is a little bit harder until you teach your body that this is the right position. But in terms of shoulder mechanics, this is the most healthiest position for your shoulders. Okay, so you guys get that part, and this angle is going to be relevant in bench or push-up. Now, here's the part where I think oftentimes people forget because you're thinking a push-up is an upper body exercise. And let me just switch the camera over. I want you, but in a push-up, it's hard because we're not in front of each other, but imagine, Gabrielle and Lynn, if I was to try to push you back, and let's say you have your arms out and I was trying to push your hands back, so you were trying not to topple over, you're not just going to resist me with your arms. Try to just even visualize me pushing you. Do you suddenly sense that your legs are kind of tightening up or anchoring itself? So this is how in a push-up and in a bench press, your legs are actually very important. So when we get into the push-up position, I'll just do it on this chair. My legs are not relaxed. They're actually stiff in the sense that I'm flexing my quads. So when I say flex my quads tighten up. It's almost as if I'm pulling my quads, my thighs away from my knees. Like, you know how when you flex your arms, it's kind of like I want you to flex your legs. So in this position, my legs flex, my quads are flexing, my legs are actually squeezing together. And when that happens, it tightens up my whole midsection. So I know both of you, have been doing push-ups from, Lynn, you're doing it from the bench, or are you doing it from the floor?
I'm doing them from the floor now.
Okay. So
I can't do that many, but I can do them.
Oh, that's totally fine. It's not going to be about volume today. If you can tilt your camera down, and then Gabrielle, if I could see you give me a couple push-ups from the bench. Lynn, sideways, if I could see that first.
So you want me like this?
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah. So for both of you, give me 2 push-ups.
I get to that point, and then if I let it go too far, I just drop.
Okay, so Lynn, that's good. Gabrielle, that was great. Do you have something in your house like a yoga block or some kind of small cushion? Okay, I want you to place that yoga block in the middle of your upper thighs, like very high, where it almost feels like, yep. And then Lynn, your push-ups are looking good, but let's also play around with that. Do you have a yoga block or some kind of cushion?
I have a yoga block.
Perfect. You're going to do the same thing you're going to do on the floor. So you're both going to, now that that block is there, it's a sensory, it's a cue, a sensory cue for your body. So you feel it between your upper thighs. I want you to squeeze that. So for you, Lynn, your feet are going to be much more narrow. I want you to squeeze that when you're doing the push-up. And Lynn, you've got it on the floor. And Gabrielle, when it starts to get hard, I want you just to focus on squeezing your block from once you get into the hole of the push-up and coming straight back out. So again, both of you give me 2, and then Lynn, have your legs closer, like feet closer together. So you're really squeezing the block and focus on that block squeeze. Yeah, Lynn, that's great.
Yeah, that was easier.
Yes, so I want you to have your legs together. And Gabrielle, are you, I saw that you became a little bit more fearful once you have that block there. You want to?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm just worried I'm going to drop myself.
Okay, so the worst thing that happens is that you'll still catch yourself at the bottom of the bench.
Yes.
As you do that, I want you to lead with your hips, not your chest. So you're one big squeeze the block and then lead, yep. Okay, good. So Lynn, I think you're okay on this. And then Gabrielle, I'm going to give you also one more tip for when you're doing the push-up. So while you have this position, right, and you got your leg squeezed, now this one more thing will help you activate the lats. So when your hands are placed on the surface, we sometimes do this in squats. Even though the hands don't move, I want you to visualize your hands trying to corkscrew away from your body. So when you're coming down into the push-up, let me see if I don't know if you'll be able to see me do it, but so if I get in this position and I visualize as my hands are pressing the floor, I'm going to corkscrew the hands out as I'm coming down and really push my hands into the surface as I'm coming away. That might help you a little bit more, Gabrielle. Do you want to give that a try?
Yeah.
And then even though you've got that, Lynn, why don't you add that corkscrewing motion too and just try to visualize that. Try and nothing fast. So Gabrielle, I want you to focus on getting low, corkscrewing the hands away from the center of your body. Yes. So Gabrielle, does the block help you engage your core more?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, then we're going to add one more thing to you because I think you need a physical marker in terms of getting your chest closer to the bench. Do you have something similar? It doesn't have, I don't know, most people don't have 2 yoga blocks. Do you have something that you can place on the bench? So when you're coming down into the push-up, I want you to think that your chest is going to touch that. Yeah, actually, let's switch. Let's put the yoga block on the bench and put that between your legs. Yep. And then now when you do your push-up, I want you to focus on squeezing the legs, corkscrew your hand, and have your chest touch lightly and come back out. It's okay. It's okay. You know what I'm thinking? We might want to work from a slightly higher surface instead of the bench.
Yeah.
Because I think I actually don't think that you don't have the strength. I think you're, in your head, you feel like you can't do it.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. I've just got this mental block because if you put me on my back, I can lift.
Yeah, and I saw the other study. So I think what might be a great idea, is there something, we won't be able to do it here because you probably have to move
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
around. What do you have that's a little bit higher than the bench that you can be working on your push-ups? Like in your house. It might not even be in the basement.
Yeah, I've got my sofa, so. I
So
can-
that's when I want you to work from there. So getting to that low position, you can even use the yoga block as a physical marker. Get to that level until you feel like a solid, easy 5. And then I would go back to the bench because
Yeah,
it is mental. I can see that you can do it, but I think you're thinking that you can't, and your body's
Yeah.
like, oh no, I can't. And then it collapses
yeah.
because you have the strength. Okay. So that's what you're going to do. But your form is right on. Lynn, the form is right on. So now I want to cover the bench press with the dumbbells. So Lynn, are you able to either move your camera or something so that I want to be able to see both of you so that I see the full length of your body. And because what I'm going to be looking for in profile is like the position of your foot versus your knees. Like an arch in your back, all those kind of things. Okay, great. Lynn's just rearranging. And then, and what I'm going to have both of you start off with is you're going to both grab actually, we'll start without the dumbbells. Let's just talk about body position. So I'll have you both lie back onto your bench. Excellent. Yours looks a bit high, Gabrielle. So this is what I'm looking for next. So we'll start with the feet. So when you're lying on the bench, your feet have to come back so that they're behind the knees. So if I'm standing next to you, it should be behind your knees and in a position where it's almost like your squat distance, for your feet or the squat distance. And you should feel somewhat awkward, like, oh, this is weird. Like my feet are so far back that my butt is a little tight and it's in a weird position. So Gabrielle, I can't tell if your feet, are they raised or is your whole foot flat?
My whole foot's flat.
Okay, so bring it back actually an inch further. But keeping your heels down. Okay. And then Lynn, is there any way to move maybe the camera onto the floor so that I can see you sideways more? Because right now I can't really get a good view of the angle of your knee and feet. Oh yeah, that's actually perfect. So you're going to stay in that position, Lynn.
Okay.
All right. So Gabrielle, bring your foot an inch back. Okay, so Lynn, you're going to lie down. And then I'm going to have you, let's see, walk your feet back. So keep your whole foot down flat. So Lynn, you know how you're on the balls of your feet? Is the bench too high for you to, okay, it's totally flat. So that's not far back enough. I want you to bring it back maybe an inch and a half further. So bring your feet closer to your butt. Yep, but try not to shift the rest of your body.
But still keep my feet on the floor?
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering if that the bench is too high.
Yeah, probably. Like I have my
So
feet
is there any
up on something? I'm losing you. Your Wi-Fi.
So traditionally it's ideal. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can get closer. So Lynn, are you able to put books or something? So, oh, that's a better view, Gabrielle. Something where your feet can be further back, but your heels are still touching that same surface as whatever the balls of the feet are touching.
I have extra like weight plates.
Oh yes, that's actually what people use in the gym. Actually, not people. That's what women use in the gym because the benches are made for men. So if you can replace weight plate, probably just one weight plate, because then it'll give you a tactile cue for when I want you to be pressing your whole foot from to the heel all the way down onto the weight plate. Yeah, Gabrielle, that's where I want it. And then the whole foot down. Great. I know it feels, it's not exactly ladylike, this position, but bench press is not ladylike. All right. Yep. And Lynn, bring your heel back, just bring your feet back an inch more.
I can't.
Yeah, that's good, right there. So did you both feel right now, you have a slight arch in your back, right? Your back, lower back is
Yeah.
lifted.
Yeah.
And when you placed your foot down, do you feel your butt clenched, tightened up a little bit?
Yes.
So this position is important because the bench press is actually full body. Like you're going to use your legs. So right now, from the waist down, that's the position I will always want you to do. All right. Okay. So from here, we're going to now get up to get your dumbbells, and we're going to go over the whole positioning. So I want you to get your dumbbells, you're going to have it on your thighs, and you're going to lie back down in that same position.
Okay. Yes. Sorry.
Yep.
I
That's
missed
okay.
the last minute.
Oh, so I'm going to have you grab your set of dumbbells and then bring it back down with you so that you guys are lying down.
Is
So I
there
want
like
you-
a good way to like lie down
yeah,
while
so the
holding
way
the
you would
weight?
do it is when you're sitting at the edge of your bench, you're going to have your dumbbells on your thighs, and you kind of like sit back and you kick using your thighs to kick the weights back with you. Does that make sense? So it's almost like you're
Yeah, so like this, except now
Yeah.
I gotta reposition myself.
Yeah, that's okay. Because you're gonna always have to find that position again. Okay. Great. So Lynn, bring it back as far as you can so that the heels are still touching the weight plate. Okay. And great, Gabrielle. So you guys have the arch. And so now this is where I want you to start with your dumbbells. You're gonna have that push-up position, but your elbows are pretty far back, and your shoulder blades are kind of reaching towards each other on the bench. So you're really sticking your chest out, and your shoulder blades are reaching towards each other. So this is the starting position. And your feet are pressing into the floor or the dumbbells. And now in this position, you're going to, I'm trying to think how to, because it's a little different than bench. Take a big breath in, hold your breath, and you're going to press it straight up. Yep. And then you can bring it back down. Keep pressing your feet into the ground, press it back up again. Excellent. And then bring it back down. Now, where I want you to keep your eyes is you're going to look at the ceiling. So you're going to take a breath in and then press. Essentially, you're going to hold your breath during the bench press. And then when you bring it back down, you can take a little breath in and breath out. And then press. And then bring it back down. Good. Don't let go yet. I'm going to add in one last component of the bench press. So I want you to both visualize, I'm walking over to you and I'm going to push my fist into your stomach, and you're not going to let me. So you're going to tighten up your core, and that is what keeps the tension. You've got tension in your legs, and you got tension in your core, and then you take a breath in and then press. So both of you keep that tension in the core and then press the dumbbells away from you, like you're pushing a wall away from you. And then bring it back down. Shoulder blades are still reaching towards each other. So in a bench press, there's that arch in your back, and you're sticking your chest out because you're actually activating your lats to help you push the dumbbells again. So why don't you just give me 5 presses? And as you're pressing, I want you to still keep focusing on your legs. So when these dumbbells you both have are not super heavy, but when the dumbbells get heavier, you're really pressing your legs, your feet into the ground. That actually helps you push the weight away. Great, you can bring it down. I'm going to have you rest a moment. If you want to set the dumbbells down, you can. there's a lot of different cues, and I promise it all comes together. And the last cue that I'm going to give you after you guys rest is, you know, when you guys press the dumbbells away, when you bring it into you, I don't want you to think of it's just gravity helping you bring it in, but it's just dropping with gravity. What's actually happening is you're pulling the dumbbells towards you. It's almost like an inverted row on a barbell, or almost think of like if you were grabbing something and you're pulling yourself to it. That's the same motion as when you bring the dumbbells down. It's an active motion rather than just dropping with gravity. So let's try that. We're going to give it 5 reps. I know you got a lot. You got to remember your feet. You got to remember, like, don't let me push your stomach. And then I want you to think as you're pressing, when you bring it back, pull it in towards you. So think about that. I'll remind you, just like pull the weight down. That's great, Gabrielle. And that's, Lynn, that's perfect how you went back down there. So push the whole foot down. You're going to push that weight away. Good. You got your core tight, your butt's a little squeezed because it just naturally, it tightens up in that position. Good. And then pulling the weight down. Yes. So you control the weight on the way down, Lynn. Excellent. And if you're wondering where your eyes just stare at the ceiling. Perfect. Okay, you guys can release the dumbbells. That was pretty basic. I mean, that's essentially push-ups and dumbbell bench press. Do you guys have any questions?
For the bench press, if I'm using the dumbbells, like mine are kind of wide because they have like this long thing at the end, like they kind of come back as they're coming down, they kind of come crooked rather than straight. Whereas I know if you have a bar, you're straight. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay. So because your dumbbells are different than what Gabrielle has, so what it would look at, it's probably going to be hard for me to demo holding it this way, but so essentially it might be a slightly angled and it's okay, but as long when you come up forward, it's going to be all, you know, matching straight on as if you had 2 fists, but because of the shape, it will be a little different, right? With a barbell, you know, your arms are straight out, slightly different because of, you know, the bar positioning. So with dumbbells, they can be slightly turned. And there's nothing wrong with, you know, there might be a wide, with dumbbells, we can have a wide bench press. It just kind of hits it differently. And then there's narrow, which is more triceps, but you'll feel that more in a push-up than when you're pressing the weight away. Because like pushing your whole body weight this way or this versus this way, the leverage is leverage, and also muscles are more predominant in the motion. So yes, holding it because of that's totally fine.
Okay.
Tina, are the principles for the bench press the same whether you're using a bar or dumbbells?
Yeah, everything that we just went over with your feet positioning, how your butt feels, the arch of the back, the shoulders coming together, because that positioning of the arm and the shoulders pinching together, that's all very relevant with the barbell. So the only difference will be with the barbell, because it starts at the top, you take your breath in at the top, and essentially people hold their breath from here until you're back top. It's because when you're breathing, your core's pretty much solid. You know, there's no like relaxation. So any breath in or out is done at the top of the barbell. And then the barbell is a little less forgiving. And in that, if I see someone with a barbell and it's a little loose, then you have to rack it. You can't press with a barbell unless you're totally solid. So before even it coming down, it has to feel like a piece of your body where, you know, you're not going to have your hand just loose, like your hand and your arm, everything's connected. The barbell should feel like that on the way down and on the way back and all the way back up. With dumbbells, it's slightly different because, you know, you got 2 different weights that you're trying to control. But I mean, you essentially still want that control with the barbell. You just can't have that loosey-goosey because it'll just topple to one side. Awesome. I mean, you guys did great. I think you're doing, so Gabrielle, I think your takeaways, your push-up, I want you to, and don't think of it as a regression. It's really, we're building mental confidence. So you start at a higher level. So even if you have something you can place on the bench during the workouts or just whatever it is that's a little bit high, even if it's too high, I want you to get low and let your body and your mind know like, oh, I got this. And then you just slowly move down to that level.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Lynn, and I saw as soon as, even if you don't use the block, I want you to still capture that same mental, physical feel. You know how when they had the block, your legs were tighter, so everything felt easier. So that's the goal. When you engage the whole body, it becomes easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, great. We did this all in 30 minutes. I thought it would be like 45. So congratulations, you got 15 more minutes of the night. I recorded, so I'll post this in case you review, but I think both of you will remember, and feel free, you can always send a video. And when I see you in class, I'll help you because I was able to, see both of you. But I think when you got that with the push-up, and then just remember that weird leg positioning for you. It's a weird position. Most people don't do it, but once you relax your legs, let me put it this way. It's the same as when your legs are squeezed together, push-up. When your legs are active in a bench press, the whole press becomes easier when it gets heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was good. Thank you.
Fantastic. Gabrielle, thank you for joining all the way from Oz.
That's all right. That was really helpful. Thanks, Tina. There's really good cues to work on.
Fantastic. I will see you guys soon.
All right.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.